following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Paige Clarke, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, wild world.
To recover our natural health, to regain our rights and our freedoms, I'm Nico Haan.
It is a great, beautiful day here again. We're
70
having
degrees.
Nice, cool weather.
Yeah, we had that rain yesterday. I had to empty my pool, like there was about 4 or 5 inches of rain in there.
Did you
I
hear
had
that
to
storm
empty it.
yesterday morning?
Yeah.
Oh, that was snuggle weather.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, want to have some suggestions for the show, we can be reached Nico at TFNN.com and
Paige at TFNN.com.
And we're taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. So the last show, we were talking about The Biggest Loser and how they were really punishing these people. And I thought we'd continue on that trend a little bit because the general knowledge out there, if you listen to the mainstream, is you need to lose weight, eat less, and exercise more. And that's the genre that we have.
Even our government has adopted that state, that it's really everyone's fault that we have a weight problem because they don't exercise enough. And although exercise is great, folks, and we're big fans of it, the question is, does it effectively promote weight loss? And, you've probably heard these guidelines, are the simplest requirements for achieving weight loss. But they also happen to be the same methods which increase bodily hunger. And if you're convinced, try skipping a meal while adding an extra Zumba class to your daily planner. What happens? Odds are you'll reach the doorstep of hangry by nighttime.
Yeah, that's true. As a athlete myself, I've often, have been ingrained in me that exercise is really important. And it is important. It's important for many different things. It improves your muscle and your bone strength. It gives you cardiovascular health. You sleep better. You also reduce the risk of some cancers and diabetes and these things. But it's not the end-all for weight loss. It actually, you go out for a walk. I remember my grandfather saying, let's go out for a walk and work up an appetite. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was general knowledge way back then. We don't think of it like that now.
It's true, and although increased exercise is heavily promoted as an effective weight loss tool, you can follow the money, folks, and there are a lot of commercial, forces that are behind the dieting and exercise craze, and it's a lot bigger than we realize. And as we were touching on last week, this recommendation that we eat 4 to 6 small meals a day, what does that do? That increases your grocery bill. That increases your restaurant eating out bills.
Yeah.
And I think that we were not designed this way. And that's what we've been teaching and sharing with you all for years, that we were designed to use food as a fuel, and we were designed to burn clean fuel, and a cleaner fuel are healthy fats that keep the blood sugar stable.
Yeah, there's certain tribes in America that were looked upon as lazy, the Shoshone Indians, because they kind of lounged around a lot. They were very healthy people, but the white man considered them lazy because they didn't work all day. They didn't have this type of schedule like we have today, where you have to work the 8 hours or 10 hours, when our natural working pattern probably is more like 3 or 4 hours a day.
Right, and then have community and relaxation and
Right, and a lot of cultures, like the Mexican people, have the siesta, mid-afternoon, everything shuts down. Of course, they probably go to bed a little later than I do, but these things are kind of more natural than what we have today of the work, stress, stress, stress. Then on top of that, now we have to get our exercise program in, added stress. And as we talked about with the people in The Biggest Loser, that added stress is what makes them gain back, I believe.
I mentioned that to you. I think that being in that fast pace and that mental stress that's created about performing and achieving a goal and getting up, I've seen a lot of people that become weight loss resistant, and I really believe it's because they're over-exercising. This looks like an interesting book, The Diet Fix, Why Diets Fail and How to Make Yours Work. And I really don't even like the word diet. It has bad neuro-linguistic
Well,
programming.
diet
It
is
has the
something
word
that
diet
you
in
eat
it.
on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, I mean, diet is a way of eating only. We've actually coined it in such a way that it's a temporary thing. You have to do this because you're bad, and now you have to be good on the diet, but then you can go back to natural and you'll be okay. But that's not the way it really works.
That's why we talk about living a primal lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
It's a
not
lifestyle
a diet.
change, yeah. And if you do that, then I think you're more on the right path. You know, a sustainable exercise program for weight loss doesn't require any suffering. In other words, you have to look at exercise as something that's enjoyable. You have to be able to fit it in properly.
It should be a stress reliever, not a stress producer.
Exactly, and it shouldn't be 2 or 3 hour a day mandatory thing.
Let's take a look at Asian cultures. Qigong, for example, is movement with breath with exercise.
Yeah.
And the movements were not necessarily of this,
Tai
marathon
Chi,
runner. Yes.
yoga, many different disciplines that aren't, I mean, they're not easy by
The
any
breath
choice.
concern is an integral part
Yes.
of the training, even jiu-jitsu, true, right?
That's for sure.
The author of this book, Nico, Yanni Friedhoff, says exercise should never be undertaken in order to lose weight, as the calories burned through exercise aren't enough to be fair, and people often have a bad habit of eating back their exercise. Hey, I just went for a walk. I think I'll have myself a banana split. So these are things we want to take. It's really a combination of a lifestyle change and lowering the stress and getting nutrient-dense food, eating less food, but making sure that the food you're eating is more nutrient-dense.
And make sure it's a natural process. You're eating less food because you're happy with what you're eating. There's no reason for us to, we're grazers all day long, as we talked about that 6-meal plan last show.
Right.
There's no reason for that. You can be very happy.
And as he says, we've all been there, reaching for that extra padded food serving at the dinner table because we exercised.
Yeah.
Like a reward.
Yeah, that's true.
That can really throw us askew.
Yeah, that never kind of made sense to me.
Yeah.
Because, it's...
Or you splurge on the 300-plus calorie fruit smoothie immediately following a spin class.
And there's a lot of things that happen, too, is emotional eating.
Yeah.
I notice when my wife is gone, I'm more likely to try to grab an extra snack.
I guess so.
And she's gone.
Right. Okay. So that means there might be an extra
I
snack.
get to see her Friday. Yeah, there might be. And if you're smart about the snacks, it isn't too bad.
Exercise still does play an important part of weight management because I think it's more than anything than the calorie restriction is the fact that it creates a endorphin release and a stress reduction. It puts you in the right frame of mind, feeling healthy.
Well, it's kind of like you bring your car in to get the maintenance, the general maintenance kind of thing. That's what I look at exercise as. But if you would take it home and wash it, that's different.
Yeah.
You're making it look good, and exercise kind of makes you look good, makes you feel better. So exercise is kind of like maintaining your car, cleaning it up, taking it to the mechanic, that type of thing.
Right.
But the eating
Keeping the
is
joints
what the
lubed.
fuel is.
Right.
That's what.
And you want to keep clean fuel in there.
Yeah, and also replacing parts with the protein and things like that. So kind of that's what I'm looking at. But
This Dr. Friedhoff talks a little bit more about the weight loss models, requiring suffering. And
no pain, no gain.
Yeah,
that
no
type of
pain,
thing.
no gain. And that,
Stupid slogan.
Right, and Dr. Friedhoff says he believes the suffering model to promote weight loss was so prevalent because it's what we've been told and fed forevermore.
And shown on TV. Yeah, and the TV's a powerful.
And he even mentions the Biggest Loser. We were shown this. So let's kind of reframe all of this, folks, and let's get back to real food and living a primal lifestyle. But right now, we got to take a break.
Yep, and the number here is 877-927-6648, and Paige and I'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. You know, you go to the TFN.com page, and under Breaking News, we have a Living a Primal Lifestyle lower leg stretching. This is really important. A lot of people don't pay much attention to your feet. They might have them look pretty and stuff like that, but these are exercises that are very, very important for your whole being. Once you have your feet relaxed, then you feel a lot better. Remember, Jesus always washed people's feet and had his feet washed because they walked a lot. But really important, and one of the exercise groups that I think is missing in a lot of people. Other thing you can do here, of course, is we're on the air right now. You can see us. And that you can get our newsletters here. You go down to newsletters, and you can pick out the various different newsletters. And ours is, of course, listed also somewhere along here. Where is it?
Well, it's right down there.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about now is that we often talk about diet and things like that, and fat is continuously in the news. And one of the things that people always do is combine different foods together, and sometimes some of the things is not a good idea. I know protein and fat go very well together, but in this article called Superhuman Roundup, an iron, a double-edged sword, fat and micro RNA and rock climbing strength.
Well, he's kind of just summarizing.
Yeah, he's summarizing this whole thing, and I was very confused about it until I started reading it. And a lot of people, you see them adding fat to things like carbohydrates, like a potato is one example that we have.
So most people
here.
would view what's a potato without the butter and the sour cream and the cottage cheese or whatever.
But there is a thinking about this, is that the fat actually slows the release of the hormone that we talked about last week, which is insulin, so you don't.
That allows us to actually deal with the sugar raising. It creates insulin resistance.
And that's what I've always thought too, in a sense. You know, I always think this about fiber too, that it slows down. But this article states that it might not be the right thing.
Yeah, adding fats to carbohydrate-containing meals is a common recommendation because a lot of people feel that it's going to slow that glycemic response. And the primary mechanism which fat does this is by slowing the rate of gastric emptying, meaning it kind of slows down how fast it moves to the stomach. Therefore, the
insulin is not necessarily as high.
The glucose, yeah, the glucose doesn't spike as fast, and then perhaps you won't need the insulin. But what we're finding now is in the research, when they focused on the blood glucose response of missed meals, what we see is you're kind of seeing the forest not able to see the forest for the
For the
trees.
trees.
And there's a considerable amount of evidence to suggest that consuming starchy carbs in combination with excessive dietary fat, especially saturated fat, causes an acute state of insulin resistance. This is exactly what we want to avoid. So is it the fat that's bad, or is it the carbohydrate that's bad? And there you go. So, do we have this insulin resistance when we just have fats? We think not. The evidence shows that primal people, when you follow more of a diet like this, blood glucose levels drop, showing that you have good insulin sensitivity.
Yep.
But when we're still combining, so going back to the ancient science of Ayurvedic and things like that,
Okay.
food combining is important. It really is.
That's why you eat fruit alone and not with protein or fat. And really, I think the fat is more of the problem. But the protein can be too, because we talk about glycation, whereas the combining of the sugars and the proteins together.
Yeah. So really, when you think about it, folks, if you are going to have a carbohydrate, they're probably best had pretty much
By
on their
themselves.
own. Just like a
that's
fruit
sort of-
should be by themselves. If you're going to have a potato, perhaps use it as a base with other vegetables. And if you're thinking, wow, it doesn't have much taste, mix it in with some other sautéed
Well,
vegetables.
that's the thing that Europeans
yeah.
are very good at. In fact, in Holland, they often combine the carbohydrates with other vegetables and made it kind of like a mash of things.
Right.
And also with maybe protein, but low-fat protein in this case, I would think. It says the amount of insulin required to handle a similar amount of glucose in the blood was threefold greater when butter was added to potato compared to eating a potato alone.
And that is kind of sad, because I do enjoy vegetables with butter, like,
Yeah.
like asparagus, with butter.
I think with vegetables is okay. I think more, they're talking about the starchy
veggies, yeah. Okay,
and
there you have it.
actually in the primal or paleo style diet, your starchy vegetables are not so much included at all.
Right, and
We
they're more
try-
like a treat or something.
They're more like a treat or something instead
Like a
of...
sweet potato is not really part of it. They weren't big tuber eaters, but,
Yeah, but sweet potatoes have more fiber, so more palatable, and that's why they think that they switched to that type of thing. The reason I don't eat potatoes too much, I think it's kind of empty calories, which is, for me, doesn't mean much, but also indigenous to only one small area of the earth. And those things can be kind of a double-edged sword. Sometimes they're really great. It's kind of like Himalayan sea salt, which we'll talk about a little bit. But and the reason that the Himalayan sea salt is really good, there's one specific reason for it. Well, there may be many, but this stuff has been hidden for many, many thousands of years. It's not exposed to our environment, our normal environment. But potatoes, however, grown in the Andes Mountains.
it says this problem still is also consistent when butter is consumed alongside lentils. So again, it's a starchy veggie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. Maybe asparagus with a little bit of
Butter wouldn't be so bad, or
butter.
broccoli, or things like
Right,
that. Yeah,
right.
things
I
like
gotcha.
that. So from my standpoint, this makes a lot of sense. So do away with the starchy goodness. Don't add fat to it, and if you do have it by itself, and you should be all right.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip right there, because I think many people are getting confused about how to eat these starchy foods. Remember we talked a little bit about how Premier Research Labs, Dr. Marshall's new research, I went and saw Dr. Michael Greger,
Yeah.
and they're all more in the camp of kind of opposite of what we believe. It's really a fine line, folks. You have to understand what we're saying. We believe in good, healthy fats that are prepared right, fats that aren't damaged. We think they're a good source of energy, like the log instead of the kenneling.
That's right.
Whereas on their side, they're saying, just as we can have energy from fats, we can also get great energy from starches.
Yeah.
But we can't get them if we have fat with them, and that's what they're teaching.
Yeah, and also we don't need a lot of them, because that stuff is stored in our muscles, and when that's over, I mean, if you've got enough in your muscles, then it's going to store as
Storing
fat.
as fat, yeah.
Or you're trying to get rid of it. In the chat room, Bo Rare is saying sweet potatoes have estrogen-mimicking compounds, kind of like the soybeans.
A lot of foods do, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of starchy types of foods do.
Yeah,
That's,
true.
Yeah, so
True.
there again,
Thanks,
another
Bo Rare.
reason, probably a reason not to have them as much.
So if you are following a diet more like what we're saying, and you're missing some of those starchy foods, once you have achieved insulin sensitivity, and the signs of that are your blood sugar levels are in optimal ranges, not the reference range. A lot of people contact me and said, "Oh, I'm fine, my blood sugar is great." And I said, "Well, what was it?" They say, 102, fasting. I'm like, even though that's close to the range or in the range,
It's a high.
It's high.
It's high.
It's a sign that your body is not doing a good job of getting that sugar escorted into the cell.
Prolonged
insulin.
hyperglycemia is a very problematic, and it only serves to perpetuate the problems that caused by fatty acids to begin with. So it's not a problem if it spikes and next week it spikes again a little bit, but if it spikes on a continuous basis, that's where the problem comes in. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, this was a really good article, and I think it really helps to
Yeah, it's a
elucidate what
real
we're
long
saying.
article, so I'm going to put this probably in one of the
Newsletters. I think it's
coming
valuable.
up that I'm going to shorten a little bit, but I'll have all the information and charts available for sure.
So when we come back, let's talk about what happens to your body when you eat pink Himalayan salt, healthy salts.
Okay,
Talk
that sounds
about
good.
next.
And please pick up our Primal Edge, daily nutrition. Is something you need to be healthy, and pick up our brand new newsletter that came out yesterday or the day before. And Paige
See
and
you
I'll
after
be
the
right
break.
back.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit. Welcome back, folks. This is Paige and Nico at Living a Primal Lifestyle. We were talking a little bit about healthy salts. We talk about salt a lot here. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And
well, some people kind of roll their eyes. What's the difference? Salt is salt, and
it's not.
Yeah, and we've been taught really to take salt out of our diet. Many diets take salt out of it. Many conditions have you take salt out of it.
And again, like we like to fine-tune things for you folks. It's about what kind of salt you're using, and the toxic 1600 degree heated toxic sodium chloride that's in the little container with the girl with the umbrella, that is not salt, folks. That is a chemical.
Yeah, so what makes the Himalayan crystal salt so amazing, Paige?
Well, the salt, first of all, let's give you a little history about Himalayan salt. It's about 200 million years old, and there were crystallized seabeds that were covered with lava. And because the salt was subsequently enveloped in snow and ice for millennia, it was protected from modern-day toxins and so forth. And, you know, the Himalayan mountain range goes from Asia and passes through China, Nepal, and
largest in the world.
And across to India. And many people believe that this pink salt is the purest salt that can be found on the planet.
Well, remember, it's also an elevation where there's not a lot of air, so the pollution doesn't really get up there.
Right.
So even though they're open now, you're not getting the same pollution as you would get in a salt bed in L.A., let's say.
Right,
or
and
New York
instead of
City.
being an isolated chemical-produced sodium chloride that's prepared in a lab, Himalayan salt contains the same 84 trace minerals and elements that are found in the human body. And that alone is really quite impressive.
That's impressive for sure. And a few of these minerals include sodium chloride, sulfate, calcium, potassium, and magnesium.
And when you consume this salt, you're actually getting less sodium intake per serving than regular table salt, and you're getting the constituents. As we always share with you, it's about getting the cofactors and synergists that make a supplement beneficial to you or make a food. You know, nature works in concert with other elements. It's not an isolated event.
Well, and the structure of the pink Himalayan salt is these are real small cells, so they enter the body much easier.
It stores vibrational energy.
Yeah.
It's a conductor of electricity. And
Because
that's
of all
what
the
we
minerals,
are.
of course,
We're electrical beings.
No doubt about it. Yep.
And it's also in a colloidal form, meaning that it's the elements, just like our minerals are colloidal. Our minerals are actually ionic, which are even smaller in the primal edge. And you know, that's the whole idea, is we want to be able to get it where it does the work. And we have to heal the cell to be well, folks. And the cell needs to be in a form that the cell can use.
Yeah, and bringing all these minerals into your body, it really promotes your a lot of health benefits for it. I mean, specific health benefits. Let's go over those.
Yeah, let's do. You know, the research continues on the benefits of salt and the importance of us. And maybe we want to say, it's not that we need salt, it's we need the 84 plus trace minerals. So when we get the 84 trace minerals, we're going to see an improvement in vascular health. And we're going to talk, interesting article we found today about vinegar. But getting back to that, supports healthy lung and respiratory function.
Yep, exactly. And it also promotes like a stable pH balance between the cells. Your body has a nice ability to kind of self-regulate itself, but it needs these minerals to do that.
Exactly. And it reduces the signs of aging and promotes healthy sleep. We believe that the adrenals need healthy salt. Again, I'm going to use the word, the adrenals need trace minerals, and salts and these healthy salts are a great source. And so I really recommend, if you're having trouble sleeping, that you look at whether or not your electrolytes are out of balance.
Yeah, and it increases your libido, important. I mean, we have everybody taking all kinds of different pills for that. Don't need to.
Maybe they just need to spark their electrical system a little.
Yeah, put a little salt on it. It also prevents muscle cramps and increases your hydration.
So let's talk about that a little bit. A lot of people say to me, oh, when I drink water, it just goes right through me. Hello.
Put a little salt in it.
You need to get the trace minerals so you can hold on to your water, so your cells can utilize the water and get it into the cell.
So you can put a little of that, just a pinch of that salt in there in your little container of water, but you can also add that MCT oil together.
Yeah, sure.
And then
you
you
know
have
what?
a little fat, and the minerals get absorbed better that way, too.
That's right. Here's one for you.
Yep.
Lowers blood pressure. I love to say things and have people, their jaw drop and go, I say, your blood pressure's a little high, maybe add a little salt. They're like, oh, my doctor says not to have salt. Remember, folks, when we say the word salt, we're saying we need some trace minerals. So it's amazing if you're starting to have hand swelling, if you feel like your hands or your rings are tight on your fingers, or your ankles feel a little bit puffy, add that little bit of Himalayan trace mineral salt to your drinking water on your food, and you may notice that very quickly this extra puffiness will go away, and that's really a great thing.
Also improves your circulation of your blood, and also, because of that circulation improvement, therefore detoxifies the body of your heavy metals.
Well, and the important thing we can talk about that is, again, because they're colloidal minerals, they can go in there like our Primal Edge does, and they combine with the bad guys and help escort them out of the body, especially when you use something like Primal Edge.
Kind of like your personal little bouncers.
But this is really something, comparing Himalayan salt to other salts, and I want to go over this part because a lot of my mentors, Dr. Marshall, we talk about Premier Research's research, and Dr. Marshall prefers the air-dried sea salts that we have. It's a pink salt. I think it's a delicious salt, but it comes also from a mineral-rich volcanic soil, sea salt mixed, more from the South Pacific in this area.
Yeah, if you just go in the ocean and dry some things, dry it out and have some of that salt, you may have polluted stuff.
We have to question with the nature of what's going on with our seas, whether, what's going on with air. But, sea salt is still a better choice than table salt. But it's becoming increasingly processed. And I want you to be aware, folks, that many sea salts today are maybe not exactly what they say, and there are marketers that are capitalizing on the hype for healthier salts.
Yeah, you go to a lot of restaurants now that have little says sea salt on it. I prefer to bring my own salt to the restaurant.
Exactly, and everyone knows, my clients know I order from the Himalayan Salt Company those little salt shakers that are refillable.
Yeah.
So that way, it's about having tools that may help you make a healthy choice. If you keep it in your purse or your car, if you're a guy, you're going into a restaurant.
Now, there's other uses, which is nice. You can, of course, in cooking, my dad always taught me that put salt in while you're cooking. It helps digest the food before it even gets to you.
Oh, I think about curing.
And curing.
Have you seen those Himalayan salt blocks?
Yes,
they're like cutting
they're
boards.
wonderful. Yeah. Salt slabs.
Salt slab. Yeah, there you go.
And they're good for cutting things and get those minerals in there.
My
good
favorite,
for bathing. Yeah,
my favorite is bathing. I enjoy detoxifying with Himalayan. I do it twice a week. I buy it in bulk, and I use it with Epsom salts and baking soda. So baking soda, Epsom salts, and Himalayan Epsom salt, baking soda, and a little bit of essential oil.
Yeah, and same that you put that in the fridge. You put a little baking soda with Himalayan sea salt in the refrigerator. Not only the smell goes away, but it purifies everything.
Absolutely.
So another good thing to do.
Yeah.
Folks, please pick up my Health Signals newsletter. I've got a new Health Signals out there today. Starts with talking about the Primal diet and how it alters biomarkers. But there's a lot of huge information about there. It's a lot of the stuff we talked about in the last few weeks, like the alcohol and like the different kinds of exercises for your butt and things like that. So
I think this is a huge point, when we're talking about altering biomarkers, because we spoke about that on the first session.
Yeah.
That the evidence is pretty clear that when we eliminate the processed foods, which is what this diet really is, we're eliminating foods that were not available when we had our original genome. It helps us get back to the actual being that we were and how we were designed.
And it's
the
a
proof
simple
is in the
way of
pudding.
eating. Yeah, it's a simple way of eating. It's something that'll get you back to your health. You kind of normalize your whole body. Very important. So pick up the Health Signals newsletter. It's only $10 a month. You get 2 issues on the first and third Tuesday of every month. Also, while you're at it, pick up some Primal Edge. We really like this product. It has over 310 organic, cell-ready liquid ingredients. Easy to take, folks. $89 gets it to your door every single month. Paige and I will be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And welcome back. Nico,
Yes.
found this article, Vinegar and Artery Function. This is from our favorite vegan, Michael Greger, because, hey, we're looking at both sides of the fence here. And I thought this was very interesting. There was a famous study from Harvard published back in 1999 which found that women who used oil and vinegar salad dressings about every day went on to have fewer than half the fatal heart attacks compared to women who hardly ever used it. And that's less than half the risk of the #1 killer of women. And, interesting, the assumption was that it was the omega-3s, that was causing the benefit. And, in many of us, you would think then that if those who eat salad dressing every day, they probably have a salad every day and they have the dressing on it. But no, they were able to adjust for the vegetable intake. So it didn't appear to be the roughage or the salad. But why does it always be that the oil gets the benefit instead of the vinegar?
Yeah, this is really interesting. Vinegar enhances our arterial function by allowing the arteries to better dilate naturally by boosting the activity of the enzyme in the body that synthesizes nitric oxide. The open sesame signal to our arteries that improves that blood flow.
There you go, folks.
It's a kind of pucker event. When I think of vinegar, I feel like puckering.
Oh, there you go. You've got that
dilation of those arteries. I can almost see them doing that because of the taste. And maybe that's why pickle juice and all these sour things were always, kind of drawn to us. I know Dutch people are, for sure. I'm always drawn to those sour tastes.
Well, this is where it gets really interesting for me, Nico.
Okay.
They measured the dilation of arteries in the arms of women after they had had a tablespoon of rice vinegar, a tablespoon of brown rice vinegar, or a tablespoon of forbidden rice vinegar. In other words, vinegar made from the black purple rice. And all the vinegars appeared to help, but it was the black rice one that most clearly pulled away from the pack. And this is fascinating because you guys know my Qigong teacher, Jeff Primack, has been doing extensive research on color pigments, the power of pigments, and the fact that the reason we choose certain foods is we always talk about vitamins and minerals. Folks, it's the color, it's the spectrum.
The color is tied to the nutrition.
Because the color is the frequency, it is the light.
Right.
And the light. So black rice contains the same kind of anthocyanin pigments that make some fruits and vegetables, blue and purple blueberries, and that may have independent benefits. So if you give someone a big blueberry smoothie, you'll notice that they have a nice spike in arterial function. That's why they're heart healthy. That encourages the nitric oxide. Thus, the higher maximum forearm blood flow in the forbidden rice vinegar study may be attributed to additional or synergistic effects of those powerful phytochemicals, those anthocyanins, with the acetate. So the combination of the vinegar and the phytochemical may be huge. So that might mean why balsamic vinegar made from red wine, dark pigment, may also be good.
Yeah, and vinegar is what makes the salad taste real good when you use oil and vinegar. It's not the oil. The oil kind of has that nice consistency to it. But yeah, I found this very interesting. Of course, this comes from a person who's a vegan.
And pretty anti-fat, by the way. He says, you know, if you ate the same meat, you know, if you eat a high-fat meal, but added balsamic vinegar on a salad, there seems to be protective benefits to the arteries from the effects of the fat.
Yeah.
Because his camp is that fats are bad. My argument is maybe fat, you know, we believe fats aren't bad as long as you're eating the right kinds of fats.
And he makes a statement here which kind of opened my eyes a little bit. We've known for nearly 20 years that a single high-fat meal, sausage and egg McMuffins, deep-fried hash browns, can cripple your artery function. That's the type of fat that can do that, because what we're talking about in the last 20 years, if you go to a restaurant, especially fast food, the types of fats they're using are the canola oils, all these oils that clog up our system, not lard, which does not.
Right, and I so appreciate his work, and it's very compelling, and I always try to keep an open mind. However, I do feel that many of the studies that he cites are based on these typical food stuff, because he even says here, when he mentioned that sausage and egg McMuffin with deep-fried hash browns can cripple our arterial function and cause the dilation to decrease in half within hours of going into our mouths compared to Frosted Flakes. So again, who do you think probably paid for that research? The cereal industry.
Well, here, and he says, indeed, if you eat a cup and a quarter of seeded and seedless red, green, and black and blue grapes with your sausage McMuffin, you can blunt the
crippling effects
of. So some things can overcome some.
Well, and that's what we've been sharing and teaching with our listeners for a long time. It's the power of pigments. It's the power of understanding. The power of foods is not just broken down to a single ingredient. It's the synergy of all of this.
It's interesting because if the plants can have a lot of protective things, so it can give you many things even if you're still eating some of the bad things. But imagine what it can do if you're not.
He ends this article.
Yes.
You definitely know his position. So plants and their products may provide protection against the direct impairment in endothelial function, unless those products are oil or alcohol. So, he's not a fan of either one of those. But in any case...
and when we're talking about oils these days, we're really talking about the vegetable oils. We're certainly not talking about olive oil, I don't think, on that level.
Right.
Because
and getting back to, we've touched on weight loss the last couple of shows. There's a lot of research on how apple cider vinegar really helps with weight loss, and I do believe that that there's a lot of anecdotal, wives' tale information about vinegar, and I think that what we're seeing here is this improvement in circulation. I'm getting to the point now where I believe more folklore and anecdotal information
seems to be right on instead of what their propaganda is doing. You're right.
Well, I was writing a paper, and Marcia Engel, previous editor-in-chief of the New England Journal of Medicine, she has a wonderful quote that she says that it is no longer prudent to believe the studies that are published, the clinical studies that are published in journals such as the New England Journal of Medicine, due to manipulation and industry interference with the research, and she came to that conclusion over 20 years as an editor at the New England Journal of Medicine. Wow. So when we go back, and I've got this beautiful collection of 150 healing benefits of vinegar, I look at this and I feel like these are things that are time-tested and proven and
well, these things are the kind of things you
generations.
find in the Farmer's Almanac, in a sense.
Exactly. That's what I love.
Yeah, if you look at your old cookbooks that your great-grandmother had...
there's no, false ingredients. It's all animal lard and...
Yeah, and they're really not talking too much about making pastries and cakes and cookies and things like that. They may have a bread recipe in there with sourdough bread or something, but you don't see what we know as cookbooks, because the first cookbook I really remember was Betty Crocker. The propaganda machine was starting with Betty Crocker.
So they'd sell their boxes of flour-type products.
Hey, you get a free book.
Yeah, exactly.
What the heck? It's a good pull, for sure.
And it's funny that you said that,
What?
because I have some cookbooks from my grandmother, and one particular one just popped into my mind when you mentioned that. It's very old. I think it's probably around 1910.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go look at it and
Yeah,
see.
I have a whole collection from the internet of all old cookbooks from like the 1600s on to about the beginning of the 19th or 20th century.
Let's put a recipe or so in the newsletter and show people what it looked like.
I've published it in like the first or second year of Health Signals. I put a link to all
To that
those in
cookbook?
there. Yeah, and I'll have to dig that back up because it is very interesting when you look at those things. It's so completely out of sync what we know as cooking today. And it's a lot better as we know now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back after the break, folks.
Yeah, and the number here is 877-927-6648.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV. But if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, Nico, this is one of our most interesting subjects. I love it when you kind of bring us up to date on what's happening with the Thunderbolts project and the electric universe, because it really is giving us an idea that in order to see what's in our future, we need to look closely at our past. And I know you're going to give us a little update, but let me just set the stage here. You know, what we find out in this researcher Perot's discussion here that you're going to overview says that several thousand years ago, the terrestrial sky was ablaze with electrical activity. And we see these graphical stone carvings represented worldwide that have a similarity, and I hope you can show that. The ramifications of this possibility, folks, will directly affect understanding of cultural roots the world over. And what was the impact of this recorded events? Tell us some more.
Well, you know, interesting thing, here we have it on stone. and I'll scroll up here, and you can see different variations of this. But the interesting part of course, seeing these drawings all over the world here.
Arizona,
Italy.
Armenia, Italy, Arab Emirates, Spain, Guyana.
So this is called the stick man, and evidence gathered from around the world has made abundantly clear that the intense electric activity above observers on Earth was the subject of massive collection endeavors to record on stone. So
to record what they were seeing. This isn't just they wanted to draw a picture of a stick man. They were trying to say, this is what the world looks like.
We always thought this was just self-portraits. Yeah, primitive art. I don't know what these little globes are or whatever.
Yeah.
But plasma discharge scientists know that this is the universal sign of plasma formations.
Right.
And so these people put this on stone, and I don't think they put things on stone unless they thought it was very, very important, not just doing something because, hey, look at me, I've got my arms up like this. So this was seen by our ancestors. So that means...
Almost like a record in time, carved in stone.
In fact, some of them, you can see the figure changing as you go. It goes through the air. So they have actually a pictograph, and one of the scientists was saying that the Mongo language, which was on Easter Island, was actually a pictograph of things happening in the sky. It wasn't really a language. They were warning people, when you see this, there's problems coming.
Documenting and warning. So what do you mean when you say that, like you made the comment, problems coming, or that this may be what we're going to see in the future? I remember one show we talked about that because you kind of give us a synopsis.
Yeah, because the current social cycle continues to be the weakest in almost 200 years.
The solar cycle is the weakest. Wow.
Yeah, and when we're talking about the sun is not as active, which means we don't get as much protection. So that means when there is a coronal hole mass ejection or other things that happen from space, what happens is that we're going to receive a lot more bad news, in a sense. So we're going to see electricity in the sky. It's going to impact us. In fact, Bo Rare says that perhaps the Grand Canyon was not slowly hollowed out by eons of water, but by massive electrical charges. And this is what Dr. Steinbecker had said, that when he looks at the Grand Canyon, he looks at that the river was there. The river didn't do this. The river was actually letting the sediment go downstream, and it was building up on the sides as the stuff was falling in the sky. In other words, what was falling from the sky was stones, rocks, hot, fiery things, just like in Exodus that they were describing. So these people were describing these events all over the world on every single continent. So there's definitely something in our past where human beings were seeing this.
Right.
And now we're going into another grand minimum. And in the next 30 years, we may have a chance to see some of this. It might not be that pleasant.
And exactly. How might that impact us? I mean, think about our electrical grid, how we run our life, how we get our food. I follow Liam Schaaf on Facebook, and he's got some great points about, hello, we need to pay attention and kind of disconnect and be prepared. And this could be
interesting times, not just with politics, but with the sun also. So I think, stick around, folks. We'll have more information. And in every issue of the Health Signals Now, I have an article about the sun, the thunderbolts, and about what the sun is doing.
News you can use, folks.
Get educated.
Tune in with us.
Thanks for sticking around, folks. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great day.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.